right? Norwegian formula. It's so
Ah,
good.
uh, how's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty
Yeah.
good. Hanging in there with all of the things. I'm starting I feel like I'm starting to get the cabin fever that people got 3 months in. Like that's now I'm doing it.
Well, I think, yeah, it's like that wall hits at different times.
Mhm.
And I feel like this is kind of the second wave of people getting hit by that wall where it's like, okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Feeling it still, but I don't know, it's cool. I mean, I'm very lucky. I'm very privileged in lots of ways. So I've been able to stay home. Um, so that's good.
Yeah, I personally I got nothing to complain about. Like you, I'm very lucky and I'm just riding this out, waiting for it to have some sort of I think once the vaccine, once we get vaccinated, then it's like, okay, I think then it'll give at least a sigh of relief, you know?
Yeah. Just just seeing people posting their pictures of getting vaccinated gives me so much hope and excitement. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. uh have you done a lot of online improv?
I've done more teaching and directing than I have performing, but I did some jams early on, and then as far as performance goes, and then I didn't produce my own stuff until for online until December, because there's a show that I do for Christmas every year that's an improvised Hallmark movie um, that is so fun to do. And we've been doing it for a few years. We even did one like a Christmas in July one time where we just did one night only Christmas in July because the Hallmark Channel does
Wow.
it. Um, and this year, I like spoke to the cast. I was like, "Hey, I want to do this. Who's in? This is like part of my Christmas tradition. There's a bunch of Christmas traditions that I'm not going to do this year because of the pandemic, and I'd really like to do this." And most of the cast said yes, and so we did 3 performances of it. One week, or I guess, yeah, we did like a Saturday and then another Saturday and then a Sunday. So
Uh,
we did a matinee so that some of my European students who've been taking classes with me could see it.
Perfect.
And as you know, and
Yep.
then yeah, so then it was awesome. It was so awesome. It was great. And we had a big crowd on all 3 times because we have a huge fall. And I think people were just like, it was the end of the year and people were just
Yeah.
like, give us some joy.
They're like, we forgot it's the end of the year. We need this.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really great. And then after that, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no overhead if you charge tickets. So I was able to pay my actors more than I usually get to pay my actors. And
Yep.
so that was awesome. So then after that, I was like, well, let's do another show. So I just did a show last weekend I grabbed some people from across the country and we did a show, and that was great. So, but most of my stuff has been online teaching and then having graduation shows for my students like improv and storytelling. And you've been doing this. Do you do this multiple times a week, or how?
Yeah, it's really depending on a schedule, like when I have available. December was great. It was super busy, like for work stuff, so I couldn't do it as much. And so it's really just a scheduling. When I've got time, I'll do it. I'll do a couple a day, or I might do one a day, or
Oh,
it's
cool.
it's all dependent on what when it can fit in. And the fact, like you said, you grab people from now throughout the country or the world, that opens it up. It's huge. I did it with a guy this morning from Oslo via India.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And
Like he was in
so
India.
it was great. It was like he is fairly new, and he did a lot of virtual and some things outside or outside of the room, right? But
Yeah,
so it's interesting to talk to people about where they are in where the
right.
lockdown is.
Exactly. Yeah, depending on. And so weren't you were in Oslo for a while, weren't you? Or were
I
you in
was in Copenhagen for
Yeah.
about 7 months, but I've I've gone to Oslo a bunch because they've got a pretty thriving improv scene there. So I love it. I love Scandinavia. It was great to be there. Lots of dark days because it's so far north.
Yeah,
So
if you're there at that part of the year. That
yeah,
is
but
like my dream. I have never been to Scandinavia. I want to go so bad. It's like a gray rainy day here, which is like my jam. Um
then you'll
and
love it. You'd love it there.
I love the dark. I was like, I have the opposite of sad. When people
Right.
like get depressed in gray weather, I get anxious when it's too many days of sunshine.
Oh my God. Then go to Scandinavia
Right?
immediately.
Just not in the summer.
No, like the winter it's not as brutal as like Chicago where in Copenhagen, but it was less sun. It was just gray and
Right.
dark early, and that I found like that got to me because I love the sun. So being now in LA, it's perfect.
Right. It's
Very
perfect.
sunny. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like the chance to go and travel and teach now it's so much easier than it ever has been. So I think when travel restrictions ease, I think there's definitely a need for it, and you'll find that they're very hospitable and very welcoming.
Yeah, that's my dream is to like teach there because the all of my last travels in the before times, right before all the
Before
craziness,
times?
all of that was it was all improv stuff. I was in
Yeah,
Dublin for the improv festival and I had gone to somewhere in Texas for a corporate, thing.
yeah.
And it just seems so far away and weird now, like
It is.
I miss it.
Yeah.
It's so
And
much.
it's coming back. It's
Yeah.
just I don't think it's coming back as fast as people hope or want it to. I think it's still another year of like
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
But like you said, I feel like once we get vaccinated, it'll be like you'll just be like, okay, I can do some things though,
Yeah. Yeah.
feels like
It's the weird thing is like when you're going to a place and you have to quarantine. We don't, people don't have to quarantine here, but my girlfriend is from New Zealand and we were talking about going, but it's like you would have to take a month off basically because you need 2 weeks to quarantine and then another 2 weeks for travel or doing anything there.
right.
So it's a big chunk of time to be away.
So she's in California, but you're thinking of like if you were to go visit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like her family's still like her parents are still back there and they're
Yeah.
in their late 80s or early to late 80s. So but they're still around. But
Yeah.
and then I got a message out of the blue from a guy who runs Laugh Masters Academy in Australia, and he's
Oh, yeah. That guy.
Aaron,
Yeah.
he's selling it.
Like,
He,
what do you mean?
he's
Oh, he's
selling
selling
his,
Laugh Masters?
yeah, and
Oh, okay.
I was like, huh, I don't think I've with kids and everything. Plus, I'm like, I don't think I could, but I was
Yeah.
really interested. And then, yeah, my girlfriend was like, her kids are 15, so they're almost college age. So it's like, the timing isn't right, but it did kind of pique my interest.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's the whole other thing is like all these theaters that are shutting down and like Pitt just announced last week that
No,
they're
I know.
closing. Yeah.
All of that stuff, which also means, well, there's a space that needs to be filled and you're coming in at
Right.
a good time to be like, I think it's going to go back to the way it seems like people here in LA follow an acting teacher, not necessarily a school where they're like, oh, I want to learn from that person. They
Right.
stay with them for a while. So I think that's going to be the new
It's gonna be
uh
really interesting to see how it all
yeah.
of the dominoes fall and like I don't know, and then the Second City stuff, like how that all turns
Holy
out.
shit. That I mean they're calling a vote for the union.
That's
They,
great that
they
they're are you still teaching with Second City out there at all or no?
It's funny, I taught until last May,
Hmm.
and then I didn't get any correspondence from that point on. I'm also not I'm not gonna I don't think I'll ever teach for them again because I'm doing my own thing and I'm digging it
Right.
and I don't but I'm all supportive of the union, but they just did the vote for it in Canada. It was 99 for and 2 against the union. So that's official. You have to bring it up to a vote to like the
Yeah.
members or something. So yeah, I'm following what's happening, and I'm just like, I don't know why. I don't know what is worth the 50 to 55 million that they bought it for. I just don't understand. I can't see that the name is worth that much, but maybe they're going to leverage the material, or I don't know, or
I don't
franchise
know.
it.
Yeah, what's going to happen? And it's weird. And I don't know if you know, but they hired that new producing director, and he's from Atlanta,
John Carr.
John, and I know him. And it's like he moves there. He and his girlfriend have moved to Chicago and like everything. And now, they announced this, and it's like, what is going through? I haven't talked to him since they announced it, but I'm like, what's going on?
There's two things I think. One is because it's funny because I applied for the Dad's Garage job,
Oh, did you?
and I was going through a couple rounds of the interview, and then they said, "Oh, we're moving forward with other candidates," and that, and he got it. I was like, "Oh, it seems like he's from Dad's Garage. What a
Yeah,
good
he was
thing."
the acting AD.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like, I mean, I guess it's good to like put the word out, but yeah, go with that. And then he got the Second City gig. I hope the issue I'm wondering is the people in charge are the ones who made the mess. They're still in charge. And
I
unless he
know.
has power, which
Right.
I don't know if he does, because if
Yeah.
those people are still there, then it's the same shit and he's got to
Yep.
clean it up. And it's like,
And then
unless
it's really bad because your face is connected to it, but they're doing all the crap. You
But
know.
going into it,
Yeah.
going into it, that's what you're getting into. It was not a secret. They knew there was talk of a union forming. Like that was not a secret. They had known because you're reaching out to different teachers to see their interest, and some of the teachers are closer with like people who are in like, so the word had gotten out. I
And
don't
some of
think
the teachers are in the admin stuff too,
yeah.
like the training
But
center way.
But
So
when he came on board, it was like he had to have known there's a lot of shit. I don't know if you know the story. Like they had wanted the teachers everyone to reapply, and there was a tier program. It's like, oh, you can apply to be core faculty, which means you're teaching across all disciplines, including like the film school and sketch, or you could be adjunct, or you could be like a guest instructor. And then it was like, what? So then you had to like write an essay and all that stuff, and then they kept pushing it back because I think they started hearing rumors of the union. And so a
right.
lot of people like me and Amanda Blake Davis and a lot of people were just like, we're not, that's okay, cool. It's not, we're not going to
Yeah. It
apply.
seems like a good time to just depart.
It was a good time to go. And then John comes in and goes, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing. So people had like submitted all these like essays and applied. And he was like, yeah, we're not doing that core faculty thing. I mean, it was just,
What a mess.
I
I
mean,
had not heard of that. Yeah.
it's not surprising, it's like, fuck, it's right on
Yeah.
point for what they're about. So
When did you move to LA? Did we move around the same time? I feel like I moved here in 2014.
I moved right after, I think like, and we might've talked about it. I moved in 2015.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like July of 20, the end of July 2015, I moved out here, and it's like I love it because I love the weather and it's real nice, but I couldn't do those winters anymore.
Yeah.
That sucked. I was like, nope, I can't do it. So came out here, and I was teaching at Second City and teaching in Santa Monica at a theater, and it was great. And then I got the opportunity to go to Denmark, and so I was like, yeah, I'll go. And I spent like 7 months running a theater there. It was great, but I wanted to,
That's so cool that you did that
oh,
though. That's so
cool.
awesome. And so many cool connections and
Well, that's the
yeah,
thing. And you're experiencing it where you're like, you start finding that international audience, and then that word spreads. And then it's like, okay, cool. You don't need the big name theaters anymore to have
right.
credibility. You do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's play.
Yay!
Uh,
That's right.
I'm
That's
gonna
why
put
we're here.
I'm gonna put us online, and I usually ask for suggestions, but I've got a different way to do it today.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try this because I think it would be a fun way to do it. But let's see. I'm gonna put us here. It's 10 minutes. Usually, I mean, we've done a lot of real time one scene, but feel free to do whatever you want. I did one with Craig Euler. I think we did like 10 or 12 scenes. He was all over the place. And I loved
Is
it.
Craig still in Chicago or is he in LA
Yep.
too?
No, no,
Okay. Yeah.
he's still in Chicago. He did the Oslo Improv Festival. He did that. So I saw him a couple years there, which was great. But yeah, he loves Chicago, and I don't think he's gonna change. I think he's gonna stay there.
Nice.
Um, so we've got, let's see, this. Do you know this book?
Oh, I've heard of it. I don't own it though. Nice.
So it's just suggestions.
Oh, I love it. How fun.
So give me a number between 1 and 311.
284.
Okay, now A, B, or C.
A.
Great. Our suggestion is audience. That's from David Escobedo's book. Can I get a suggestion? Thanks, David. Audience. So excited.
I'm afraid to say anything.
Why?
Just, I don't want to ruin the moment.
Yeah. That's a good call. We'll just sit. We should just sit, not say anything. I'm gonna burst. I can't.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry. It's my fault. Sorry. Sorry. The stares at us. Sorry.
I mean, what if it's disappointing?
I mean, I guess that's part of the excitement, right? It's like a tightrope. It could be amazing. It could be disappointing. It could be like, eh.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want it to be, honestly, I want it to be either like really good or really bad. I don't want it to be like meh. I want it to be like one extreme or the other.
Yeah. There was this one time
Yeah.
that I went to something that was really bad.
Yeah.
And I think that other people around me thought it was good.
Oh,
And I was laughing because of how bad it was.
yeah. And then you
Yeah.
just can't stop when you're in that situation. And it's like, try not to. It's like, try not to, try not to. And then you're laughing. And it's like, oh,
I can't. It was Jekyll and Hyde the musical.
oh, oh, God. Don't make me laugh.
He had half of his hair was down and the other half was up, and he would switch. Oh, sorry.
Wait, half
Half
was
of his hair was down. For Mr. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll is the good one. Mr.
yeah,
Hyde.
he's the bad
Yeah.
one.
So Mr. Hyde had hair, crazy wild hair. And then it was like, those shampoo commercials where half the hair is, yeah.
Half of it's
Yeah.
shampooed and the other half. Okay.
Sorry.
It's like those at those sporting events where it's like it's a guy dressed and half of him's like Diana Ross and the other half is like Lionel Richie, and they do a dance and sing at the halftime. Sorry. What?
I don't know. Is it us? I mean, maybe that's culture and we're just laughing at culture.
God, maybe. Maybe it's because we don't understand it. And maybe I laugh when I get nervous.
I laugh when, yeah.
Oh. Am I gonna laugh at this, Deb?
I don't know. In the wrong way? You mean laugh in the wrong way?
That's why I feel like I'm gonna laugh and it's gonna be not appropriate at all.
You know what? I will laugh how you laugh, and you laugh how I laugh. So no matter what, we're not alone.
We're doing it together.
Yeah, we're going in. We're going in.
We're going in. That's it. We're
Pinky
going.
swear. Okay.
Sorry. It's exciting to be out.
Right?
Just to be out.
Just to be out.
Just somewhere, anywhere.
Anywhere with people, like around people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love everybody here. I'm sorry. I'm
Me
sorry.
too. Me too. Sorry.
You know what else? I just want to touch everybody. I just want to touch everybody.
You made me laugh. Sorry. I'm gonna touch him. Sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh. I want to touch them.
Get him, Deb. Get him. Okay. Stop. They're not going to start the show.
Breathe. Oh my
God. That feels good.
It does feel good.
It feels good just to laugh.
It feels good to laugh and be around people, even when they're scowling at you.
Yeah, it's a reaction.
They're affected by us because we're in the same room together.
We're all together.
All in the same. Touching each other. Oh, they're poking me now.
They're really hitting you hard. Ow.
No, it's good.
Oh, hey, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Wow. Honey, this was the best thing you could do. This was
really.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought, we're gonna just go out and we're just gonna be, and whatever happens, and whatever culture happens, it happens. And just the fact that we're somewhere together, it doesn't even matter where it is,
Honestly,
yeah,
if we were just home, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But this is just extra special just because of everything,
Yeah.
But no matter what, as long as we're together.
Yes, that's the important part.
Yes.
Oh, okay, it's starting.
Oh my God.
It's starting. Oh. So tubas make me laugh. Oh, oh, sorry.
Sounded like you last night in bed.
I know. Right? I told you I can't have cheese. I just can't have cheese.
I know,
anymore.
you can't have cheese.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry. What?
I love when you were trying to avoid cheese that one time and you brought home those quesadillas and because you forgot that there were cheese in quesadillas.
Who would have remembered that?
It's called quesadillas.
I know. Told me. I thought it was a lot of Dias. It's like a whole case of Dias.
Oh, right. It was a whole case. It was a whole quesadillas that
It
night.
was. It
It was like
was.
a couple of cases.
It was a lot.
It was a lot
No,
of cases.
no. You shut up. You
Honey,
shut up.
honey, honey, honey,
Sorry.
honey.
Sorry. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you just flick them. No, don't do that. Don't actually do that. Don't, honey. Oh, are you okay? Did he poke you?
Oh.
Oh my God.
I know I'm laughing, but I'm in a lot of pain right now. We should go.
Here, come here. Uh, let me, no, it's good. It's just, yeah. You need ice. You need to put ice on it. We don't have ice here.
I think I'll go to the lobby. I'll see if they got some ice in the lobby.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Let's all go.
Lobby.
Let's all
Go to the lobby
and get
ourselves some ice.
Scene.
Yay.
Amanda, how fun was that?
Oh, it was fun. Thanks for the laugh. That was
Oh
delightful.
Oh my God. And that I kept thinking about that Mary Tyler Moore episode. Do you know the one where it's Chuckles the Clown and it's a local clown? It's from her show when she was a news producer, the Mary Tyler Moore show. And
oh, I know the show, but I don't know if I've seen that episode.
it is a great example of tension. And the whole episode, the guys in the newsroom are making fun of the clown and stuff. And she's like, you got to pay your respects. You can't be mean.
They're like trying.
And though they go to the funeral, and right before the funeral starts, somebody makes a joke and she's like, knock it off. And he's like, sorry. And then the priest gets up there, delivers this monologue, the eulogy about the clown, and she just can't stop laughing. She's trying not to. And it is just one of the great, and this scene reminded me of that, of like, you can't laugh. And then it's just the tension is building and it just is wonderful.
Yay. Not being able to laugh is the funniest thing ever.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like just try. There are people I get on stage with. You make me giggle a lot on stage. And there are people I get on stage. I can't, people ask like, what do you do when you break? And I go, you're with funny people, you're going to laugh. And there are certain people that you get on stage and you're like, I can't even be on stage with this person because they make me laugh so much.
All of my characters are going to be laughing tonight.
How did you get into improv? Like, how'd you get started?
Oh my gosh. It happened a long time ago when I was 14. When I was 14, I took a class with my cousin, and we used to make tapes together. We used to make little cassette tapes. We would record ourselves doing little funny audio sketches.
Yeah.
Just all the time. We were like, let's make a tape. And so we took an improv, and we used to watch Saturday Night Live. I grew up watching Carol Burnett too. And,
oh yeah, the best.
And so so just fell in love with it and took a little class in my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, and fell in love with it. And then actually a few years later, when I was 17, I auditioned for a little improv group there that performed at a comedy club called The Funny Farm. And so I was kind of thrown into the fire. I was doing short form bar prov when I was 17, and did that for a few years.
Oh my God. What training.
Yeah, it was, they would yell out words that I wouldn't know what they meant. And I particularly remember we were doing that game 185, and I love that game. And we were doing that game and they called out dildo, and I had never heard that word before. And I thought I was thinking of that extinct bird, the dodo.
Dodo.
And So that was like my joke, and the audience was like real confused. But for a drunk crowd, it's like everything's funny, so it's okay.
Well, the fact that you're also probably telling it with confidence, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then that to me is the biggest key, is like, just sell it.
Right. I wish I could remember what my punchline was. Yeah, but yeah, so that was crazy. And then I did a bunch of different things like theme park work and different acting stuff, and then ended up going out to Seattle, and that's when I got sort of my bigger improv training, was out at Unexpected Productions in Seattle, out
Okay.
there. Yeah,
And
so I
and
was out there for 9 years. I performed and I taught with them, and toured Europe with them a few times, and also worked with Playback Theater Northwest. I was the co-artistic director with them. And um, Playback is great. It's
yeah,
personal
it's
stories. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And then moved to Chicago, and then yeah, and then worked with Second City teaching, and then
Yep.
did solo work in Chicago, and then did personal storytelling in Chicago, and did more scripted work in Chicago, which kind of rounded me out, and did puppet work. I did a bunch of puppet work in Chicago too. And then when I moved down here for love,
Is
um,
that why you went to, because you're in Atlanta?
I'm in the suburbs of Atlanta. I'm like 45 minutes north of Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in a
And
town called Cumming.
of course, uh, which the dodo bird helps with.
Yes, 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 yes.
What, and so we were talking before, and you moved there like 2014.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband is a physicist, and he a theoretical particle physicist.
Well, you don't have to tell me. I know that very.
I know. I tell people I'm the smart one.
Wow.
So, oh,
Physicist.
you'll like this. There was this one time I was using his computer for something, and I closed out my doodly or whatever, and then his thing was up there, and it was all long pages of equations that had no numbers.
Oh my
And I
God.
was like, this isn't real. And then later, like that week, I had my notebook out for my lesson plan, and it had things like bibbity bibbity bop and use it,
Oh
be it, and
yes.
all these weird like zip zap
Yes.
zop. Da, da, da. And he was like, this isn't real.
Isn't it, isn't it amazing? We're all nerds for different things and speak that nerd language.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, bippity bippity bop is so useful and needed, and I play it all the time. And he's
Yeah,
like,
it's so good.
all right.
Like, what?
And
Yeah.
you're still like active teaching, and how do you like the virtual space? I mean, obviously it's different, like it's not the same because it's not the same, but what are the advantages you're seeing in it now?
It's been really it's definitely, you think about like the beginner mind, like that Zen kind of improv
Yeah,
with the beginner mind. I feel like it definitely put me in the beginner's mind again, which
for
was
sure.
it's always good.
Yes.
When I switched over last March to teach virtually, I was in the middle of teaching. So I was in the middle of teaching a bunch of kids classes, and then I was just about to start my 8-week adult sessions that I do.
Wow.
So I immediately was like, okay, I'm going virtual.
Yeah.
And teaching kids was great because, I mean, it always is, but I would do these things. I was teaching like 5 different classes, kids classes. And,
Wow.
you do these things where it's like, okay, you guys were great today. So you get to pick what game we're going to play at the end of class. And without fail, Jay, they would always pick the thing that I was scared to put online without fail. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
but it was great because I was like, okay, let's do it,
It forced you
Yeah.
to innovate.
Yep.
Oh,
Exactly.
100%. I remember that. I hopped in, same thing. It was like midterm, and I remember thinking, if I don't do this right now, it's going to overwhelm me, and I'll never get into. I'll be so overwhelmed with the technology that I'll just back away. So I'm like, same thing. You get up there, you jump in, and then you're like, all right, what games do we think can't work? Let's see if they can or not. And you start over, and it's like, well, you find that some might not, but there are a lot of the games that you can make that transition and just change it a little bit to make it work.
And then there's games that I hadn't played in years that I'm like, oh my God, this is actually perfect.
Yes.
that like, yeah. And so it's just stuff like that is great. And the stuff that everybody says, I'm sure, like, it's great to have students from all over, because I'm not just teaching in Georgia, I'm teaching all over North America and all over. I've got a student in Peru right now. I've got students in Italy and Spain and
Crazy.
Germany.
It's crazy.
So
It's so
great.
wonderful. It's like you have access now to reach so many more people and you're not limited by geography, which
Mhm.
is huge for me.
Yeah. It's really, yeah. I mean, we were talking a little bit about before about, um, how what will happen with the reopening and as the next year or two continues, like what is it going to look like for improv and theater? And it will be really interesting, how much, I mean, speaking personally, even when I'm able to teach in person again, I know I'll still offer one or two classes occasionally online. I just will. So yeah, and I'll
Oh,
still do like that Christmas show I was telling you
yeah.
about. We'll probably do, once a year we'll do one online version of it, like
Oh,
along with our in-person. So yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know, it's interesting.
I'm committing to doing 100% virtual even when things get back to normal. I'm going to
Mhm.
keep pushing the virtual and say like what can we do? How can I reach people? How
Yeah.
can I reach people that can't get out of their homes, don't want to get out of their homes, don't have the schedule, want to only do this virtual like I think there's room for that. So I made the decision. I'm like, I think I'm going to just continue to do virtual stuff for a while after this, just to reach out to people who are maybe they're even in an area where they don't have improv. They don't have a teacher that's nearby. So it's like I think it's definitely exciting and a big challenge. And I'm excited at the what's going to happen and where we're going to end up. Right now in the States in North America, pretty much is 100% virtual and zero in person. So I feel like it's probably going to balance out to like maybe 60-40, 70-30 with mostly in person. But I do think the virtual thing's here to stay for sure.
Yeah, it'll be, yeah, it's kind of exciting in a way.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I'm so glad that I was in the middle of teaching.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's because I'm the same way. I feel like if I had set out, I would have been too intimidated to jump in
Yes.
because I
Yeah.
had to, I had to. And at the time I was teaching one improv class that was a character class, which was kind of perfect
Oh,
for
perfect. Yeah.
yeah, because you do so much individual work in a character class anyway before you jump into scenes. And then the other one was not improv, it was my personal storytelling class, which also was like easily translatable to online. So yeah,
I mean, I think you're right on. It's like it's some of this transition's easy and you're like, "Oh my God, I could do this." And we go, "Why didn't we do it before?" It was available, but there wasn't that push for it. There was people were okay with the way things were and this kind of shook everything up.
I mean, it's that whole thing, right? You need restriction for creativity. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Where can people, if they want to connect with you, because you're doing a ton of like you teach a whole bunch of different theatrical skills, not just improv, but like you're talking about storytelling and character. What's the best way people can get a hold of you or follow you?
They can go to my website, which is just amandarountree.com. And all of my stuff is there. And I'm on Instagram. They can search for Amanda Rountree. I'm on Twitter and Facebook. So yeah, just search. My last name is spelled without a D. So
Yeah,
it's Amanda Rountree. But I did buy amandaroundtree.com. So I
and
was smart enough to do that.
send it to you.
Yeah.
My significant other's last name is Thompson without a P. So it's the same
Oh,
thing of like it's what you expect, but remove this one letter. Same
right.
name, but remove that. Well, yeah. Amanda, you're the best. It's really great catching up with you, and it was so fun.
Yay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This was wonderful. And you are a delight, as always, to share the stage or screen with.
I can't, whether it's another virtual or in person, I can't wait to play again, my friend.
Yes.
All right. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.